looking to see if there's any sort of changes from day 1 to day 2 for Cyrus. I think there may be. We'll get into it as we go along. I know canceling Cologne was a big card yesterday, but may have dropped it for day 2, so maybe some adjustments as we change days in competition. Like you said, Nachi using the Mew VMAX. The standard version of this deck at this point is the Fusion Strike Energy, which, I mean, it's funny, right? A year ago, we were in the exact same spot. It's basically the same deck that we saw 1 year ago. It's got a few new tricks up its sleeve, but same thing. I mean, it says Mew versus what year are we in?
It's literally the same exact thing as last year. Now, interesting to point out, Nachi has made some changes to this. A big inclusion in that deck, I think that opened up a lot of people's eyes, was the inclusion of that Block Slider Ice Cube. That card is not in this deck anymore. Players, I think, have a little bit more experience with dealing with that, playing specific cards. And another interesting inclusion will be that Collapse Stadium. Now, this Poké deck kind of wants to have a lot of Pokemon. Of course, the Subspace Swell attack, dealing 60 plus 30 for each bench Pokemon. Maybe a factor, especially when you're looking to put together those multi-prize plays we've seen with the Greninja Shuriken, or rather the Moonlight Shuriken coming out. Let's take a look at these prizes, though. Never like to see Fusion Energy in there. And look at that interesting inclusion in the list. That Wild Freeze Articuno. Maybe not the best against this deck, but it's interesting to see it in there.
Yeah, what's interesting to me, and double Forest Sealstone in the prize cards. Plays 3, it's fine. Interesting note yesterday, Cyrus was saying that she thought that Mew was one of her best matchups with this deck. So we'll see if that proves to be true here in round number 5, the Battle of the Champions. Japan National Champion Nachi Nezu versus North America International Champion Cyrus Davis. This should be one for the ages.
A great match indeed. Let's get things underway. And already an excellent start there for Nachi. I mean, we didn't really see it when we put Mew on stream yesterday, at least in the match that we casted, but this is how Mew loves to set up. Battle VIP Pass, search out those basic Pokemon, and immediately you see Nachi putting up those important key pieces. Power Tablets, those are your damage modifiers, allowing your Fusion Strike Pokemon to deal 30 more damage, as well as Alessa Sparkle and Fusion Energy. You'll find to see that one of those are in the prize cards. You're still going to have good access to getting those energy into play, getting attacks off next turn, and applying some pressure quickly before Cyrus is able to respond.
Yeah, I'm sure most people who are watching this will realize we're about to be in for a long turn. It is Mew VMAX. You're going to see Battle VIP Pass. Go search, do basic Pokemon up. Genesect V has that excellent ability, Fusion Strike system. You draw cards until you have as many cards as Fusion Strike Pokemon you have in play. So it kind of scales up. If you have 6 in play, you get to draw until you have 6 cards in your hand, and each Genesect V can use that ability each turn. And then you have tons and tons of item cards in your deck that you can use to lower your hand size. But wait a second. This doesn't look very good at all.
At least able to get down 3 basic Pokemon on the bench. Hand's looking very much better for next turn. Just have some ways to burn some cards out of the hand, evolve into the Mew VMAX, but really like to see a more pop-off start. And look at this hand. Wow. Double Battle VIP Pass.
And this is going to be brutal because Nachi didn't do anything, and Cyrus is going to go straight for that Spiritomb. That is going to shut down those Genesect V, and this is probably part of why Cyrus feels like this is a good matchup. If you can cut off the draw power of the Mew VMAX deck, take away that Fusion Strike system, sometimes they just crumble.
It is hard to deal with. If you don't open with things like the Forest Sealstone or Fusion Energy or Alessa Sparkle, any way to get Fusion Energy, Genesects, they're just going to sit there. And this deck is meant to burn hands out with item cards and fill the hand back up. Spiritomb in this deck to prevent it. Essentially a card built to counter this Mew VMAX deck. And that is why we're no longer seeing the double turbo build, because you've got to have some sort of an out, albeit it really isn't great when your opponent plays that down.
Yeah, so excellent start, obviously, from Cyrus. Got the energy to use concealed cards with Radiant Greninja, draw a couple cards, and then, I mean, what's better than 1 Battle VIP Pass on turn 1? It's 2.
Absolutely. What is the rest of the hand looking like? There is a Melanie. Look at that. This can put this onto the Origin form Palkia V.
Wow.
Is there an energy card? Does find the Escape Rope and has the Chien Pao in hand, so that wants to be the choice for Cyrus of the last bench Pokemon, which seems like it would make the most sense. Escape Rope, other Mew will come up, Chien Pao into the active, can use that Shivery Chill ability, searching out 2 water energy from the deck. So the attachment can come down, and there can be an energy for a future attachment next turn, or to discard again with concealed cards. Excellent start here for Cyrus in game 1.
Yeah, couldn't ask for much better than this. And yeah, it's kind of funny. Qian Pao can be used as an attacker in this matchup. You can use Origin Form Palkia V-Star's Star Portal ability to put a bunch of energy in play and then use one big Hail Blade attack. But I've seen it mostly just be used to search for energy every turn, which is still pretty good, especially with Radiant Greninja. It's a nice little way to burn through your deck quickly. You go search for 2 basic water energy, you discard 1, draw 2. You also get energy in the discard pile quickly for Palkia's V-Star power. So, hey, this is a great combo.
And nice top deck there for Nachi. Finds the Ultra Ball, so this can get rid of some of these resources that are no longer needed. Search the deck for another Pokemon. Now, Fusion Strike system for now is shut off, and Nachi wants to attack. Looks like there is no Alessa Sparkle, but there is an Iono, so some more cards could be drawn. But if the choice is to attack, let's say, Mew VMAX and double Turbo Energy, that means there's going to be no Fusion Strike systems used on this turn. And next turn, going to have to rely on finding those Fusion Strike energies to continue to attack. First piece, though, is that double Turbo Energy, so we'll get down, interestingly enough, the 3rd Mew V. I mean, I guess you can't use Genesect, so it's worth just getting that into play. And 6 cards. Do we see double Turbo Energy or a Forest Seal Stone? As you mentioned, there are 2 prizes, so not a lot of outs here. What are the cards? And does find a few copies, 2 of those double Turbo Energy, as well as another Mew VMAX, if Nachi chooses to evolve that.
Yeah, Nachi will be able to attack, but it won't be a knockout. I mean, part of what's slowing you down here without Genesect V, you don't have the luxury of drawing into things like Power Tablet exactly when you need them. That Spiritomb Fettered in Misfortune ability is really making things difficult. It doesn't, completely shut down your deck, but it makes things way more difficult. And, in these kinds of matchups where each turn is so important, just one turn of making your opponent miss an attack can be the difference between a win and a loss.
And a really interesting choice for Nachi not to evolve the benched Mew V. Now this opens up a play that something like Escape Rope can bring up one of these low HP V or GX Pokemon, or rather V Pokemon. Here we rotated out of GX Pokemon. And allows
You're a few years late on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm a little lost in time right now. So, but can bring up one of these Pokemon, and Origin Form Palkia loves preying after these low HP 2-prize Pokemon. Looks like Hisuian Heavy Ball being played. I did grab out the Qian Pao from the prizes, so put that back. Order not too necessary. Articuno is more than happy to be there at the top of the prizes.
Yeah, and of note that Iono did throw the Bibarel down to the bottom of the deck. Cyrus did draw it off the Melanie last turn, so maybe a bit of an annoyance there. But it looks like we do see the Irida going to be able to search for a water Pokemon and an item card. This is a very flexible card in this kind of deck. It can grab you things like Switch, Escape Rope, like you mentioned, that Escape Rope play is here now, but also very good with Cross Switcher, card that you need 2 of in your hand to be able to play. And I mean, yeah, we saw this all last year.
Yeah, it's the same. I'm having deja vu here at the desk. What year are we in, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, Palkia basically got pushed out of the format as newer expansions came out. It got weaker and weaker as time went on, so it is a little surprising to see it make a comeback this late in kind of the standard format at the World Championships. But hey, sometimes things shift enough where all of a sudden cards that weren't great are strong again.
Okay, I believe Escape Rope was played. Yep, so Escape Rope played. Both Pokemon switching out of the active, evolving all of these Origin Form Palkia Vs into V-Stars, and attack turn 2, taking the knockout, Subspace Swell, 240 damage.
Yeah.
Cyrus striking first, and yep, that Mew is not safe. It is more than knocked out.
Yep, Cyrus is going to take the first 2 prize cards in this game, and what can Nachi do here? Doesn't look like there's any supporter card in hand. Again, cannot use Fusion Strike system because of that Spiritomb. Hard to believe that one Spiritomb could cause so many problems, but that's what's happening.
I think Nachi's got an okay play at this point.
Palpad.
Palpad can bring back this Iono. Now, if Nachi has the cards to burn in this hand, is playing that 1 copy of Oricorio, could copy the Revelating Dance attack and put 3 damage counters on the Chien Pao take the knockout there. Rather, Glistening Droplets is the name of the attack. I'm thinking of the old Oricorio on the Night March counter one from the Sun and Moon Guardians Rising. So, in the middle of mixed up, but can place some damage counters there, as well as put a little bit of damage on this active Origin form Palkia. You can also put it on Spiritomb to finish it off a following turn. Could be the best out, but nope, instead choosing not to go that way. Copying Max Miracle, it looks like. Or actually, no, just going for the Techno Blast again. 190 damage.
May as well.
Cyrus having great advantage in this game. Looks like another Irida in hand has Switch, at least to find energy cards. Starting with the energy search, things going excellently so far.
Yeah, I think if you can, you would play cross switchers here, or boss's orders. Bring up a Genesect V, knock it out, and then all you need to do at that point is power up a Chien Pao EX and just Hail Blade for the win. Haven't used your V-Star power quite yet. You just need to get to 6 energy in play for Hail Blade to knock out a Mew VMAX.
Not what you want to see.
That's great turn 1.
Yeah.
A lot worse right now.
Listen, it happened to her on the first turn. She found one battle pass, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way for every single turn. So looks like the only supporter in hand is Irida, so probably see that get played. Now a real water Pokemon that you want at this point. It's kind of just thinning things out, and you see the Ultra Ball. Does this signal maybe Bibarel coming into play?
Yeah, there's 2 good cards to discard. 2 Battle VIP passes.
Ooh, actually thinking about the water energy, maybe wanting to put together a combination of, is there potential to get a knockout this turn with the Chien Pao? Is that maybe the projected play?
I guess you could just go for it. You know, you don't feel very threatened at all. Your opponent has very few cards in hand, and what's going to happen? Your opponent hasn't even played a supporter, hasn't done very much. So I mean, you can go for the aggressive play of just taking 3 prize cards here, and then trying to close out the game after that on the next turn.
Switch being played. Chien Pao moving up into the active spot. It can also use that Shivery Chill ability. Lost City as well. Just trying to draw cards. 1 card off this Bibarel. Will it be anything useful? Nope, just another water Pokemon that can't be played. Shivery Chill will finally be used, and this signals a big attack. Can put 5 energy into play, plus 3 more off of this Star Portal. Or rather, 4 energy plus the 3 off the Star Portal. So keep the energy in hand. And after this turn, discarding 6 energy to take the knockout, and can even leave 2 energy maybe on both of these Palkia to try and give herself an attacker when this Chien Pao goes down, because that Mew VMAX on the bench does also have a double turbo energy, so won't be too hard for Nachi to at least take some prizes in response.
Yep, there is the Star Portal. You can attach up to 3 water energy cards from your discard pile to your water Pokemon any way you like. And then, yeah, I assume that 6 energy are going to get discarded here. We're going to see a knockout on the Mew VMAX, leave 1 energy on the undamaged Origin form Palkia V-Star to leave that there to attack on the next turn, and you can see the game plan very clearly for Cyrus, who goes down to a single prize card, dominating this game so far.
Big time knockout. Does Nachi top deck anything to save himself? It's just another searching card. He'll still play it though.
Not great.
Not at all. You see Spiritomb is great in these exact scenarios. Now looking to get potentially the Oricorio. Doesn't change any of the math on Hail Blade. It is still needing 6 energy, dealing 360 damage to take the knockout. I mean, in my mind, I think you were probably scooping as soon as your opponent took that knockout with Hail Blade, but you never know with Mew. We've seen it come back from situations like this. Anything is possible. If this deck has stayed around for this long, it's definitely got some tricks up its sleeve for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these games are going to be quick. There's probably not much harm in playing an extra turn here. But yeah, we did see the Lost City send the Mew VMAX to the Lost Zone. Not important at all in this matchup, but it's something to note. And yeah, Nachi playing down to 0 cards in hand. Just going to copy the Psychic Leap. Just need to poke for a little bit of damage there. Get 2 prize cards, but now it's just Boss's Orders, and the game is over.
Boss's Orders bringing up one of those 2 prize Pokemon, Cyrus, taking a quick and convincing Game 1 MVP. While it just sat there and did nothing, it was that Spiritomb 100%.
Well, it sat there and made Nachi do nothing.
It sat there and froze him in fear.
Yeah.
Genesects are scared when they see those Ghost-type Pokemon. I'd be scared if I saw Spiritomb too, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it's a ghost. So yeah, I can see now why Cyrus thinks that this is an excellent matchup. Clearly that isn't how every game's going to go. Sometimes, as the Mew VMAX player, you can draw out of it. You do have the Fusion Strike energy, which you can put onto your Genesect V, which blocks the effects of your opponent's abilities done to the Pokemon it's attached to. So that is a way to kind of unlock Genesect V once again, but throughout the course of the game, it just makes everything so difficult. And when you have to commit energy to your Genesect, it just slows down your strategy as well. It's not ideal.
Now, this is an aggressive deck. It's using all these abilities, all these cards to just pummel damage as quickly as possible, especially when going first. You threaten that turn 2 knockout on one of these low HP Pokemon with the cross switchers, with boss's orders. Doesn't take a lot to power up Palkia, and on top of that, it's got access to a V-Star power that powers up another Pokemon. So that synergy together of extremely simplicity, that was sort of something that drew a lot of players to this deck. Yes, the Chien-Pao Baxcalibur deck, when it hits those hands, it is in theory more powerful. You have access to unlimited energy attachment. You have the cool Greninja canceling Cologne play that ends up existing. But you sacrifice a lot of your consistency that a deck like this provides. Very straightforward. It just wants to get Palkia down, attach, commit energy. Another Fusion Energy card in the prizes for Nachi Nezu. Nothing too relevant for Cyrus. And
2 Battle VIP passes.
Yeah. Well, listen, Battle VIP passes are fine in the prizes if you draw them in your opening hands.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And look, there.
Which Cyrus has done. All right, Nachi gonna have to use the V-Star power to get his though. Gonna go ahead and use the Star Alchemy, go search up any card. Lets you use a V-Star power in a deck that doesn't have any Pokemon V-Star. So very nice. I assume this will go for Battle VIP pass.
Yeah, but using it this early is never what you want to see. It's just, you need to have access to that to bail you out of certain situations. If you get pathed, if you need to find on aggressive turns, maybe a few modifiers, it's something that these Mew players, they want to keep it around as late as possible for an option. And I mean, burning at turn 1, and if it's the first card you play from your hand, it really probably means that the rest of it isn't too strong most of the time.
That is probably true, yes. I guess we'll see what Nachi decides to go for here. Yeah, clearly the Battle VIP pass, but yeah, we'll have to see what the rest of the cards are like. Yikes.
Yeah.
There's some power tablets, a lost vacuum that you can play now because you put down a Pokemon tool.
So this hand can thin down to, yeah, you can't even draw any. So the Alessa and the Mew VMAX and the Judge can't be played. So it doesn't matter if you've played every other card from your hand, you're only going to have 3 Fusion Pokemon in play. There's no more potential for Nachi to dig.
Yeah, you cannot play Escape Rope when there's no benched Pokemon.
Good catch by our table judges there, making sure these players are playing correct and up to date, making sure all the information is there. And it's just going to be 2 Genesect right away, just leaving this single Mew. Now, Cyrus isn't playing anything like Drapion on top of the Spiritomb to knock out this Mew on turn 1. But it's always something you want to consider. Mew is your main attacker in this deck. It's something you always want to be able to streamline, have access to, Psychic Lead. You want to make sure you have enough in play and manage your bench correctly. And yeah, this looks like it's pretty much going to be it. No reason to play any cards like Lost Vacuum if you're not going to get any value. And what is the start here? Battle VIP pass right away. That's got to sting. But you have such a slow start in Nachi's shoes.
Searching for that Spiritomb right away, I'm sure, and there it is. Spiritomb, Radiant Greninja, easy choices. Again, Nachi unable to do anything explosive on the first turn, clogged with supporter cards, which you can't play on the first turn when you go first. So just unable to get set up before this Spiritomb is out, and geez, we might be seeing 2 quick games if Nachi doesn't draw something good off of supporter cards in the next couple turns.
Cyrus does have an Iono in hand, but can maybe tell that with how poor Nachi start, may not want to play something like that Iono to give Nachi a fresh hand, potentially out into things like Fusion Energy. So if this finds something like an Irida off of this concealed cards, that could be a big opportunity. Nest Ball is a great card. I saw Escape Rope in Cyrus's hand, so can grab out something like the Chien-Pao or the second Palkia. Both are fine options. We saw having the double Palkia down and evolving them means that you're going to have these powerful 2-prize Pokemon in play, but not really be threatened from them getting KO'd super early on, especially when you have Spiritomb down in play.
Yep, but this card right here, the Spiritomb, that is the game changer in this matchup. It is, you know, a very narrow card. In a lot of matchups, this doesn't do anything, but against this particular matchup, and you've seen how many Mew VMAX decks are at the top table, it is very effective. Just shutting down the engine of this Fusion Strike deck. The Fusion Strike system is all you need to slow it down, because really the strength of Mew VMAX is its consistency and its ability to draw a lot of cards. When you take that away, it just becomes another average deck, and in a lot of ways, a below average deck.
Really does struggle. Feels like Mew just being pathed. It's that same feeling of stuck, unable to draw cards, unable to defend. So the 6 cards here for Nachi off of the Iono could make or break their perfect run. Now, losing this match, putting you at X2, pretty much cuts your chances of making top cuts. And these players need to win at least their next 3 rounds straight to get themselves into top cut, or at least give themselves a favorable chance. That's going to end Cyrus's turn, passing things back over to Nachi. Here we go. We're spinning the wheel. We're flipping the coins. Cram-O-Matic. What is it? It's a heads. Big find. If possible, this could grab something like Alessa Sparkle out of the deck, get some fusion energy onto these Mews, or these Pokemon, or rather these Genesects, and immediately, Nachi, not having to think more than a few seconds, grabbing Alessa Sparkle, and luckily there is an Ultra Ball, so Nachi will finally be able to use at least 2 fusion systems this turn, start getting through the deck, getting their strategy rolling, and hopefully taking some prizes and some knockouts.
Yeah, I have to imagine we'll see the Alessa Sparkle target both Genesect V. You want to have access to Fusion Strike system for the rest of the game if you can. And we see Genesect V being discarded off of this Ultra Ball. Probably just going to find another Mew V. I'd imagine there's no point in really playing down more than 2 Genesect V besides the ones that are going to have the Fusion Strike energy attached to them. So there we go. This is kind of your soft way around Spiritomb. The effect of that Fusion Strike energy does block the effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to that Pokemon. So that means Genesect is no longer fettered in misfortune and is free to use Fusion Strike system.
Got the courage to do what he needs to do in front of Spiritomb. He said, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I have no more misfortune. Your misfortune is my fortune. So Fusion Strike system back online. I believe the hand was thinned down to about 2 or 3 cards at this point. So yeah, it's just going to be a Fusion Strike system for 2.
Oof, drew a battle VIP pass.
Not what you want to see. Does have the power tablet. I actually would have maybe liked to see that get played before right away. It is actually just going to be another Fusion Strike system for 1 card.
Yeah,
and now just 2 power tablet in the hand. And you really don't want to have this Genesect in the active too, because
Yikes.
It's already so hard to get fusion energy on it. Wow, a big miss from Nachi, and the doors are wide open for Cyrus. Irida in hand, Palkia already having energy in the switch to start things off, can bring Chien Pao up, find these water energy, concealed cards available, Star Portal available, supporter cards, so many options. I wouldn't be surprised to see this Genesect get knocked out this turn.
I think Cyrus might have 2 switch in hand as well. One already played, can send Chien Pao into the active spot, get 2 water energy, and then perhaps switch into the origin form Palkia V-Star, use Subspace Swell. Now I don't know if we have a V-Star quite yet. Might be digging for that here. But,
finds the Melanie. There is an Irida, so at minimum Irida can confirm the V-Star.
Yep.
And like you said, I do see the second copy of Switch in the hand. Feels like going for Melanie's just a little risky, right? Because if you miss that V-Star, then
yeah,
I mean, I guess you could technically like use the Hydrospace attack on the origin form Palkia V. It does 200 damage if you wanted to, but I think Cyrus making a smart choice, grabbing the Palkia V-Star and cross-switcher potentially for the next turn. There's no reason you wouldn't want to knock this active out. I think it's the #1 thing you want to get rid of. It's already in the active spot. Great turn of tempo for Cyrus. Knocking out this active Pokemon, taking the first prize cards, and leaving Nachi with practically nothing and only 1 Fusion Strike system if they want to attack. You need to find something like their other copy of Alessa Sparkle with no way to search it out, and how things have been going draw-wise so far, not looking too promising.
Yep, has already used the Forest Sealstone as well, so that is not an out to get out of this either. Things all going according to plan for Cyrus Davis in this match, and gets the 2 prize knockout. It's the first knockout of the game yet again. And what does Nachi draw for the turn?
It's a Genesect. Can't use it, but you can at least increase the amount of cards, and now these power tablets are going to be a huge Fusion Strike system. What 2 cards could you even find? Double Turbo Choice Belts? Not those. Not those at all.
How about a Battle VIP pass?
Wow.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed. I mean, if you're in Nachi's shoes, Do you retreat into Mew VMAX? It feels like there's no other option. No, just gonna give up the
can't
Genesect,
do
saying, I'm giving you 2 free prize cards again this turn.
Brutal, and had to throw away 2 power tablets to end up ultimately doing nothing. Just devastating. The Spiritomb is just creating so much havoc here. You know, if that wasn't there, we would see more Genesect V down, drawing more cards. Yeah, you can see how awkward this game has been, but also the draws have been very poor for Nachi. Drawing Battle VIP Pass, drawing Path to the Peak, which you can't play either, because then it also shuts down your own Genesect V. It's been, you know, 2 different stories for each of these players. One drawing everything they need every turn, the other not so much.
And the landslide continues for Cyrus, finding the second cross switcher off the Irida. This can target down the only other Genesect in play with the Fusion Strike energy, leaving Nachi with no way to fill the hand deck, no way to draw cards. An absolutely detrimental board position, one that feels almost irrecoverable. Will first play the switch, bringing up this Chien-Pao, can use that Shivery Chill ability. From there, things are only going to get worse here if you're Nachi. Your Genesect will be knocked out. You'll be down 2 Fusion Strike energy and unable to draw cards thanks to that Spiritomb on Cyrus's bench.
Yeah, this is going to be another brutal turn. The hits don't stop coming. This feels like there's just so many switching cards. Every turn there's switch, escape rope, cross switcher just moving in and out. And it really takes advantage of Chien-Pao EX's Shivery Chill ability. It's a cool build. It's cool to see.
Cool synergy, lots of pivoting in and out. Star Portal used. It feels like we've been saying this for a year on and off, and it's come every Worlds now, putting these energies into play, showing powerhouse of attack and setup power that Origin Form Palkia provides. Cross Switcher bringing up Genesect V, Subspace Swell, Cyrus going down to 2 prize cards, 1 2-prize knockout away. What's the top deck for turn? It's a choice belt that won't do anything for Nachi.
This turn you got to send up the Mew VMAX.
I hope so. I mean, otherwise you're just sitting in front of an attack again. I mean, Subspace Swell is dealing 200 damage. Looks like Collapse Stadium played Origin Form Palkia V, the choice to discard and passing the turnover, and we see it already. Boss's Orders in the hand.
Hold on, is that
actually
enough?
Yeah, on the Mew V, 180 damage. Boss's Orders closing the game out. Cyrus Davis advancing to 4-1 at the World Championships.
Yep. See the smile we've been seeing a lot lately whenever Cyrus has been on stream. North America International Champion, made it through day 1 on the win in the final round yesterday in Swiss, and now advances with another victory. And like she said, Mew VMAX, a good matchup, and you can see exactly why there.
Spiritomb, MVP by far. It's here for this deck, and when you shut down the Genesects, when you shut down Fusion Strike system, I mean, that's the core of the deck. It felt like last year when we saw, obviously not to the same extent, but the Jolteon package with the memory capsule when you're up against a deck like the Inteleon engine where they're trying to use these water type abilities.